Swift once again is confirming ISO 20022. Does XRP have the advantage? We're going to discuss it in this video. I have a ton of other new information surrounding XRP in this video, guys. You're going to want to stick through the whole thing if you can manage. Let's go ahead and better understand what is happening here. So Energex posted this. Does get more clear than that. There's a video that I can't find where David Schwartz says, paraphrasing, why can't banks use blockchains? Because messaging is too bad. ISO 20022 Swift migration in particular is in a much needed upgrade. And so he's responding to this right here. Let's listen to this video first.
One of many contributors. We are a registration authority, which means we do a lot of development work and maintenance work, but we don't own the standard. It's not restricted to the Swift network. There's a lot of market infrastructures that use ISO 20022, but not using the Swift network, and a lot of institutions also use ISO internally. So it's not restricted to the Swift network. It's associated with the XML syntax, but it's syntax agnostic. So we see a lot of developments around APIs that are ISO based. We even see blockchain developments that are built on the ISO data dictionary. So it's whilst XML is used at the moment, predominantly it can be used in different technologies in the future as well. And really, just in a nutshell, it's a methodology for developing financial messaging standards, and it introduces this utopian world of universal financial messaging, which is what we're all striving for at the moment with both the cross-border migration and these domestic migrations that are happening in parallel.
Man, a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes right now. Don't want to have them mess anything up here, and there's this article here, XRP advantage grows as Swift confirms ISO 20022 blockchain integration. As you can see, this is today's date. And so we have in a striking update that ripped through the blockchain and finance communities, prominent analyst Smoke highlights a pivotal statement crossed out directly from Swift. We see blockchains based on the ISO 20022 data dictionary. The alignment between traditional finance standards and blockchain technologies becoming clearer, with major implications for Ripple XRP, which has positioned itself as at the intersection of institutional finance and blockchain. Just talk a little bit about ISO here. It says ISO 20022 is not just another regulatory buzzword. It represents a sweeping global standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions designed to harmonize payment messaging across borders. ISO 20022 replaces fragmented legacy systems with a unified language that enhances interoperability, transparency, and data richness. As the world's first, I don't know why, I'm not feeling very good today, so I do apologize. As the world's first financial system shifts into a future of real-time payments and digital assets, ISO 20022 stands at the backbone of this evolution. And so I guess they're quoting his tweet there. Swift is the cooperative behind trillions of dollars in cross-border transactions, is leading the ISO 20022 migration effort, guiding banks and financial networks through a seamless transition. Until recently, this migration was largely viewed through the lens of traditional finance institutions, but the latest acknowledgement from Swift signals something bigger: the convergence of ISO 20022 standards with blockchain ecosystems. And then it's talking about Ripple and ISO 20022 blockchain convergence. For years, Ripple has positioned XRP and its blockchain solutions as financial grade technology that can integrate seamlessly with existing payment infrastructures. RippleNet, Ripple's global payment network, was designed from inception to support ISO 20022 messaging, making Ripple one of the earliest blockchain companies to align with these standards. Also, remember, Ripple was on the ISO body's board as well. They kind of helped do all of this behind the scenes. So there's a lot of interconnectedness between Ripple and ISO. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Remember, some of these central bank digital currency technologies that, like the ECB and the Banque de France and these really big economies, they have been working on this technology for quite some time. And you better believe that XRP was probably one of the top things that they tested, because it is such a global recognized blockchain now. And you do have all of these smaller CBDC, I don't want to call them tests, because, they are fully upgraded and, they're fully working, but it'll be interesting to see what France does, what England does, what the European Union does. Swift's recent confirmation that it now recognizes blockchain based on the ISO 20022 data dictionary bolsters Ripple's strategic narrative. This suggests that blockchains, particularly those built for institutional grade finance, are no longer outsiders or disruptors, but are being absorbed into the fabric of global standards. For XRP, this development sharpens its identity, not merely as a speculative crypto asset, but as a utility token built to thrive with a harmonized standards driven by global payments landscape. So a lot of cool stuff happening there. And then, of course, Ripple is ready to offer bank-grade custody solutions, while Wall Street crypto custody services have been seen as the most advantageous advancements as shown in the diagram below. And so here is some of the advancements that they're talking about. Simplified onboarding, XRPL tokenized DEX support, pre-configured policy frameworks, real-time compliance monitoring, and new UI. Gotta have a good looking UI, right? And then obviously here are some of the biggest financial institutions in the world, trading and custody: Bank of America, BlackRock, BNY Mellon, SIBO, Charles Schwab, CME, Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Boris, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, PayPal, Societe Generale, my favorite bank, and UBS. This is just the best one to say, man. It just rolls out of your mouth. It's so good. All right. We played this video before you. Here's Mikkel. We are at the beginning stage of crypto. Watch this.
Something stated by Brad Garlinghouse that a lot of people overlook is that where we are right now in crypto is the extremely early days. He compares Ripple to Amazon when Amazon was only selling books. And the thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time looking past is how Ripple used XRP in the past versus how they're going to use it moving forward. Does it make sense for me to pay someone a $500 service fee with XRP? Something stated by Brad Garlinghouse that...
All right. Here's money follows assets. Let me play this.
People don't realize how early they are in this market. If Bitcoin's at 100K and we're talking about a $14 million Bitcoin, that means you are early. If XRP is at $2 or $3 and we're talking about a $37, $50 XRP, that means you are early. If Cardano's going to $10, that means you are early. It's so crazy. It's so insane to be in this market all the time. Every 24 hours we get some kind of crazy big news, both here and on the other channel and everywhere else sprinkled around us. Assets are clearly the answer. They're the only thing outpacing inflation, and inflation's about to get even worse.
Inflation is about to get even worse, and it's going to suck. If you hated inflation in the last few years, get ready. It's going to be worse. Could we stop inflation? Like, can it not be as worse? I mean, you really need to get rid of the tariffs. The tariffs are inherent inflationary, and most businesses can't eat 10, 15, or even 30% tariffs. They just don't have that much profit in what they're selling. So prepare to pay more for stuff. Ripple versus SEC on June 16th. XRP holders must monitor a crucial date. Man, I hate this. How many times have we looked at a date and it's just blown past and everybody's like, I'm not even going to talk about it, man. If it happens, great. We'll address it in the moment. But until then, I don't want to hear anything more about Ripple dates, honestly, and getting this done, because if they really wanted this settled and done, they would figure it out, right? So we just need to wait for that to happen. Hashkey Group lists XRP for institutional investors in Asia. Usually any of these new services, they get given to institutional investors first. And then after it's rolled out for all institutional investors, it rolls out to the rest of the people, in a particular bank or financial institution. So I'd imagine you're going to see more rollout happening with these types of new technologies. I thought this was important to talk about. Jamie Dimon mentioning issues with the bond market. I do want to talk with you briefly about this, because this could affect you if you're in the United States, or if your country does a lot of trade with the United States and like you have dollars and stuff like that inside of your country that are being used. Let me play this.
You are going to see a crack in the bond market, okay? It is going to happen. And I tell this to my regulators, some of who are in this room, I'm telling you it's going to happen, and you're going to panic. I'm not going to panic. We'll be fine. We'll probably make more money, and then some of my friends will tell me that we like crises because it's good for JP Morgan Chase. No.
All right. So what is he talking about here? Because I really wanted to talk about this for a second. So here's like the quote: U.S. bond market predicting that a crack or a fracture is inevitable. And further emphasize to regulators, you are going to see a crack in the bond market. Okay, it's going to happen. And I'll tell you this to my regulators. Some of you who are in this room, I'm telling you that this is going to happen and you are going to panic. Diamond clarified that while he would not panic, he expects others, including regulators and market participants, to do so when such a fracture occurs. And what does he mean by crack? A crack in the bond market refers to a significant disruption in the normal functioning of the market for government or corporate bonds. This could manifest as sharp sell-offs in treasury or other type of bond prices, leading to a spike in yields. We've already started to see that as our two biggest holders of US debt, which are Japan and China, in response to the tariff stuff, they started dumping bonds and yields for those bonds started to rise. And what this causes is it costs more money to service the debt of the United States. Here is also talk about liquidity problems where buyers and sellers have difficult transacting at reasonable prices, market volatility, and potential loss of confidence in the ability of the US government to manage its finances. This is a serious problem, and you are going to see this play out over the next few months. If you want to know how you can kind of combat this and what to do in these situations, we talk a lot about this during my live chats. Come join one of those live chats and be a part of the conversation. But we are going to get some panic among regulators and investors. There is going to be a market intervention. And I'm wondering if somehow this is where crypto is going to come and play a key role to provide liquidity for this bond market in need. Higher borrowing costs. So if you want to buy a house or a car or your credit cards or a student loan or a personal loan, all of those things will be more expensive. Broader financial instability. Such a disruption could have ripple effects across global financial markets. Interesting play on words. Do I say so myself? Maybe this AI just knows me too well. It knows like I would go crazy for these two words together. But well, Diamond's warnings are notable given his stature. Some market participants and analysts are less alarmed, pointing to the recent smooth treasury auctions and the tools available at the Fed's treasury to address market stress. So, if inflation starts to tick up, if unemployment starts to tick up, the Fed's number one thing, what they were going to work on is inflation over anything. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But also, JP Morgan said that Ethereum upgrades have failed to enhance the network's activity. So, maybe JP Morgan's looking for another blockchain to participate on. XRP Las Vegas is going on, and here is Mikkel. I wanted to play this clip to support Mikkel. A lot of people that watch my channel watch his channel, and they like both of us. And so I want to give credit where credit is due. This man works really hard. And here you go.
XRP Vegas with my favorite influencer. Guys, I'm a little nervous. I'm here with Mikkel.
Hey, it's great to be here. Super excited to get to meet you. Somehow we went the entire conference without seeing each other, so this interview is long overdue today.
It is long overdue. Okay, so I feel like besides Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, you are the king of XRP. So I want to ask you a question. It's going to be a basic question so you can explain to my audience the importance and value of XRP and how it is going to transform global finance and payment settlements.
Absolutely. And let me say, she is way too good to me. I appreciate that so much. But, the most important thing to understand about XRP is for a very long time, the global settlement infrastructure and the interbank communication network has been relying on a technology that was built in the 1950s. And it's hard for us to necessarily see that as consumers because we have apps like Robinhood and we have apps like PayPal. And it seems like everything's just going really well. But on the downside or underneath, it's an absolute mess because the technology that underpins all of these new applications has not been updated. So what is changing is rather than essentially doing a relay race of money back and forth between all these financial institutions from one to the other, and having humans on the back end changing databases and reconfirming and then messing things up. You now have a technology that can teleport money anywhere in the entire world instantaneously. And I compare it to essentially going from communicating information with letters and physical mail to being able to send an email. And the same thing is happening for money. So right now with money, we're still in that stage where we're doing the equivalent of sending an envelope of money back and forth between these banking institutions. But the second we can start teleporting that money back and forth like email, you see drastic levels of efficiencies where not only are the things we have today exponentially more powerful and more efficient, but we'll create things that have never existed before.
Amazing. And where can we find you for your content?
My channel is Mickle, XRP Mickle Markets. You could probably search any of them and you'll find me, but I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, and yeah, I pretty much solely focus on XRP. It's the thing that fast.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the news and information today. If you got any value, please hit like, please leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Hopefully I'm feeling a little bit better today, just not the business. I'll see you.